Well, all right. What's up, folks? Let's get into this live, man. I want to talk about this punk named Donald and this NIL thing, man, as it relates to money, because it's okay for Donald Trump to make everyone else money as long as they have the complexion of Donald Trump. They wear suits. They have been genetically deformed, genetically defunct, and have no real physical abilities. But they come with this privilege that has been rooted into this nation's fabric, and that is to present opportunities for scumbags of the earth to make all sorts of economic opportunities. It's the right fiscal decision making for kids who come from a certain fucking economic background, a certain goddamn racial background, and a certain type of community. And this attack and the way in which they are approaching this issue as it relates to NIL has nothing but race and pigmentation written all over that shit. And then to find out the cast of characters that's involved in this conversation with this failed ass president, worst president in the damn history of Earth, Donald Trump, and the fact that he will come to the table. So with everything going on in this nation as it relates to everyday human beings, everyday American citizens, his thing is to knocking off opportunities presented by the market of college sports and the taking away money from these people. You don't see Trump sitting at the table pulling money away from what's that fool, Mark Zuckerberg's expansion of economic opportunities, Jeff Bezos' opportunities to expand his wealth, Elon Musk's opportunity to expand wealth, and any of these other little tech dummies and Wall Street dummies opportunities of collecting wealth. But they targets the sports world because with NIL and the money that's involved in it, this money is life-changing for Black American students, the Black American student athlete, because in the sports that are occupied by people who look like offsprings of Donald Trump, offsprings of Nick Saban up here doing all this whining and crying, they produce one athletic motherfucker in his goddamn life. It ain't an athlete that comes from the loins of anybody within goddamn Nick Saban's family fucking tree. And this despicable geriatric punk sits on there crying and whining about what NIL has done, because he wasn't doing all that whining and crying when he was able to manipulate the system, keeping young kids poor, young kids who graduate or have to drop out of the University of Alabama and go off into the world lost, misguided, can't find a way up, turn into the streets, which what America provides a large portion of its citizens, is to provide opportunities to trying to get it out the streets. But if you slip up, you will end up handcuffed. And so, I mean, man, we're going to cook on this. And we're going to cook on individuals like Mark Summers, who I see in there, who don't factor into none of this shit, because he is a jealous, despicable, poor genetically, unmodified human being. This motherfucker is archaic. He'll fucking what is that before Homo sapien? He just a homo. That's what the fuck Mark Sumner is. Rather than evolving into a human, he just stayed a homo. That's what he is. But so we gonna get into this shit. I got some clips I want to play, and about this sorry motherfucker Nick Saban, this sorry motherfucker Trump, the sorry motherfucker out of Florida, the governor of Florida, DeSantos, Ted Cruz out of Texas, sorry ass, and the way they sit at this table to try to stop these kids from earning money. And then any despicable mother effer that talks about, yeah, Mark, I'm gonna always talk racism because racism is what's at hand, dummy. And it's in racism, guess who racism benefits? Your little toilet bowl looking ass. And that's why you hate when you hear a motherfucker like me speak on this shit. But you will never not hear me speak on what needs to be stated as a true American. Mark Summer, you are a European American. meaning you don't have any attachments to this nation. You and your family can just uproot yourselves and end up on somebody else's land, claiming that you're citizens of those countries. So knock it off. Knock it off, homie. And I'm going to talk about people who look like your grandfather, being Nick Saban, Donald Trump, hoe ass, DeSantos. He probably the same as you as well. But we're going to get into it and playing these clips of these dumb motherfuckers talking about taking money from these dudes. Because Nick Saban in the video I want to play speaks about how he coached for 50 years and his vision of the sport of what they provided for all these fools is just like, man, what the fuck is Nick Saban even talking about? What the hell is Nick Saban even talking about? You coached in the damn league. He left as soon as these kids start making money. Nick Saban has always been about fucking pitting kids up against each other, fucking other kids off in the name of competition that made him look good. Not giving one fuck about where kids go in life. Nick Saban ain't gave a fuck about that. When these kids in there running their heads into each other for $0, earning this fool all type of accolades through championships, win percentages, sponsorship that comes to his door, alum, what do they call that shit? What is that when the alum raises money? The fundraising, but it's another word they use in sports outside of fundraising. It was all gravy then, because all the money filled his damn pockets. And now that he has to compete and his university has to compete based on what they said is the market price. There ain't no dope dealers bringing us, boosters. Thank you. There ain't no dope dealers putting money in these goddamn kids' pockets. Other university. These kids get a call from another university, seeing how badass they are, how much they balling out, and then now they get to hit a transfer portal and say, hey, you got money to match him? Oh, you don't? Well, congratulations. Glad you won that damn championship off of my talent, but I'm out of here. It's no different than the white boy who just won the goddamn national championship. He done bounced all over the damn country as well. And it did not kill off the sport because you still got to watch great fucking football and at a high level in talent. What people want is control over people and to stop certain people when it comes to them making money. It's the only thing you've seen. And Trump brought his bitch ass to this motherfucker, and the rest of these hoe ass clowns to sit there and try to stop young dudes from making money that has changed the trajectory of shit. For some people, for a lot of them, it's going to be short term. Change the financial pathway for a lot of them. Some of them going to fuck that money off and be back in a financial rut. Other people, they going to know how to manage money. It's going to change shit, and they get themselves forging ahead with shit. But they still got to wake up, still got to put the work in, and still perform on the damn field. Now, there should come punishment that teaches these kids, because kids got to understand there's somebody still writing your goddamn check. And so your behavior must be a certain way. And now when your behavior in a certain way, you give other opportunities. That's all it is. It's no different in the workforce. You compete for fucking money out here. And you got this clown that wants to take money away from athletes because they look a certain way. Now, the sports that are predominantly white, there's no money in it because there's no interest in that shit. And if that's the thing they want to clean up, they need to go clean this shit up that white schools are allowed. These little silver spoon ass white schools. That's why they don't want black kids going to these fucking schools, because of the money that is poured into white schools and predominantly white communities and predominantly communities that have a higher economic median income in that motherfucker. These kids are allowed to do stupid shit. Like I was watching the Columbine shit. These fools has an elective in their school program where they go bowling and shit. Bowling is a fucking class at Columbine, along with these other schools. They get to go off in Tony Hawk. When I was looking at one of his damn things, Tony Hawk had skateboarding written in the fucking criteria for his high school. So pull all that stupid ass shit out too. Since we want to make it about what kids need and schools and all this shit need, pull this shit out of these funky ass, uppity ass white schools then. Motherfuckers in here doing bowling and crossbowing and bull riding and fucking skateboarding and surfing, snowboarding. Get the fuck out of here. Standardize America's education and extracurricular activities as well. Because like I said, when I be watching this shit and look at, even when I went to school in Evanston, that white school had all type of shit for those white kids. It was all type of way out shit I ain't never seen. And like I said, that's the first time I ever been around young drug addicts, is once I went to a school that were predominantly white schools, and what opportunities they provided and resources they provided for attempting to get them cleaned up. They had clubs for people, even at that same school. This is one thing I forgot I never brought up until I thought about this shit in the schools. They had gay and lesbian club for these white kids. These motherfuckers had a drug program for these white kids. I ain't never in my life heard of fucking met till I got around white schools, what mushrooms is, until I start hearing them talking all that shit because they be doing that shit, acid. And then they talk about Jimi Hendrix. I ain't never heard of that shit. The most we heard about was crack and fucking weed. And you didn't see young motherfuckers on drugs like that. It wasn't until I got the Evanston town shit and being around a bunch of old rich background ass kids. And then even when I went back to Cali and went to Gar High School in Cerritos, that even those white kids and Mexican kids were doing these heavy ass narcotics and shit. But here it is, as soon as a motherfucker make, because that even goes back to this shit. I want just away from this shit. When you go back to any time a motherfucker's looking for opportunities to get ahead, it's always some little funky ass pig face motherfucking clown want to pull opportunity. When young kids want to get the opportunity to motherfucking get an education, they need the National Guard to fucking bring them there. Because it's some old pathetic piece of shit ass little white motherfucking mother or father and their little degenerate fucking punk ass kids who want to think shit should be this certain way, when kids are just there to get opportunities to be educated, to get a fair shot, because the education system is so fucked up. It's a system for these people, a system for that person. You ain't got this kind of money, well, your system of education is down here versus you got money, your shit is up here. We got private education, public education, money pulled. Like, get the fuck out of here with all this stupid ass shit. That's because of the type of people who sit back, talk about they don't vote, allowing these type of clowns to go up in there. And that's all this shit is a motherfucking is an example of how politics are at play when dummies come up with they little think it's conscious, think it's forward thinking, and talking about, yeah, hold your vote, don't vote. Get the fuck out of here. You niggas are stupid to me, and especially you little backwood motherfuckers are especially a special kind of stupid. Even the little silver spoon, little blonde head punk ass people are a special kind of stupid in this country. But so when young kids, when you go back into this time, it's a forgotten time people do not look at anymore, because as time moves on, dumbass people don't look at shit and don't have knowledge of nothing. That when these young black girls and boys want to go get an education, it's people outside the school threatening them, governors and state threatening them, and it takes the National Guard to march these kids and protect them every day to go and get a fucking education, to being around a bunch of clown ass motherfuckers who deserve to have their shit blown off. And that's just real than a motherfucker. That's just real than a motherfucker. And I'm going to always keep that shit funky. Always going to keep this shit funky. Whether people like who are pieces of shit like Mark Sumner's like it or not, you're going to hear the truth. And that's why you sit your little funky ass up in here and you listen to it. But we're going to talk about this whole ass president. So let me go into this one with the bitch named Nick Saban and how he cried about this shit. And then we'll go in Trump. All this shit going on, they don't even come to the table to even want to look at how to reduce this for people, how to put this money in your pocket. Let's make health benefits more affordable. No, we're going to kick y'all off of this shit. I don't want to help my taxes going to paying for poor people to receive welfare benefits. We don't want them being able to provide their families with food. Cut that food stamp program off. We don't want to, what else programs for poor people? Section 8. We don't want to give them Section 8. Let them sleep in boxes on the street. But no, and then it's like this. There's so many homeless motherfuckers in this damn country. They even fucking oppress the homeless. Nah, you can't sleep over here. Disappear. Get this box shit up out of here. People be wanting to provide homeless with tiny homes. Nah, you can't give them a tiny homes. There's people who got fucking nonprofits who want to feed homeless, and then you get some old funky fuck ass politician that tells people they can't feed the fucking homeless. The fuck out of here, man. But as soon as it comes to niggas making money to change what is going on in their personal lives. We get bitch-made people like Nick Saban, bitch people, the top bitch of all bitch-ass people, Donald Trump, stepping in the way to want to interfere with that shit, talking about some NIL shit. Who gives a fuck? The sports is still good. The market sets this shit. Pay these motherfuckers. Nobody worry about their fucking money. The NIL ain't what fucked over, and people talking about it's ruining sports. The sports been ruined, and people been talking about that shit way before this shit. Because of the type of people who get the layup or get the handoff received to them that are allowed to coach. We got too many out-of-touch coaches, like white coaches like Nick Saban, who don't produce none of these fucking kids, who just happen to, based on the structures of the good old boy system of college football, that leaves so many of these white coaches who ain't never came up training these black kids. None of these motherfuckers in NFL who come up and train any of these black kids that make them all look like they something super great. Like, get the fuck out of here. But only low-level thinking motherfuckers only view this shit. Yeah, the NIL fucking up sports. Like, you sound stupid as fuck. And you maybe really are fucking stupid as fuck. Like, you're crazy. That money ain't got nothing to do with none of this shit. It's the fact that these coaches are sorry as fuck, don't know how to put a team together, don't know how to do what it is to really kind of create a family kind of situation where kids are bonded and rooted in and locked in on the program. That's the same thing I've seen with the Deion shit. Everything I said about Deion shit from what I just watched from videos, because I'm ahead of niggas when it comes to thinking and being able to see shit and be forward thinking. Everything that collapsed and everything I said this nigga need to do to change that program is what now he's trying to do. Off the fucking top. Like, nigga can see this shit. It's on these stupid ass adults who can't figure these young people out. And these young kids don't relate to none of these white coaches. They understand the manipulation game. Now it's their time to get it. And in this short period of time and where these kids are now being paid, because there's great athletes who wasn't making a penny off of this shit. Who, and if they took some shit, this is how fucked up the system was. They talked about how some kids under scholarship, if they got caught going to the dining facility and eating 2 meals, it can cause them to be it can cause them to face the threat and possibility of losing their fucking scholarship or going on suspension and shit. And so they highlighted what the opportunities they're giving these kids when the argument was being made a while ago about paying the athletes and shit was what we providing them with free room and board, a scholarship. We feeding them. They getting a top level education. Nobody give a fuck about that because there ain't no goddamn opportunities in this country that are providing where people have a degree and mean they're going to go into some old lucrative ass field of work. People are finding that to make lucrative opportunities is in sports because these little suit wearing, brush combed over head ass motherfuckers have fucked this world the fuck up. They can't produce shit. These people ain't never done shit, but they're locking these positions based on the families they come from, the economic background of their families, and people want to be led by these pieces of shit. Because when you get a regular motherfucker that wants to put in the work, who's been an activist, dumb motherfucking poor ass people want to put them under microscopes, but turn a blind eye to these sorry ass bitches like Trump and them. Like, get the fuck out of here. Niggas is dumb as fuck, man. All fucking day. I just got to highlight with how dumb people fucking are. That as soon as these niggas in this short span of time, they making money, these fools got an issue with it. Because Nick Saban ain't winning all these championships and his bitch ass quit like he should have been. Like, shouldn't be this many white coaches in the game because they ain't never built none of these kids up. And to be honest, when it was a certain way, when these white folks is doing the things they want to do in this sport, they took away the opportunity when it's black kids who are young youth kids who are just growing up playing a sport that everybody else in this country is playing, but doors are closed off from them by who? White folks. Baseball, basketball, football, even track and field doors closed where they got to have their own separate programming. But because the white side, when it's just purely white, the motherfucking sport just stayed stagnant and just went on this little linear trajectory and shit. And then some white coach got smart and said, because I think this is what they're talking about with this SEC shit and the Western Conference bullshit in college sports, was I think an OG told me this shit years ago, was when USC or something start allowing black talent onto their team, onto their into their football programs and shit. And they bring running backs in to the white schools and shit. USC or UCLA was one of the first schools that was starting to do that shit. And they went over and played in the SEC or Alabama or some shit and stumped they motherfucking ass through the ground. And then it was whoever that white dude from Alabama that wore the hat that they be praising or some shit. He started bringing in black talent as well. But they wouldn't let him play quarterback. And then that changed with them starting to bring the black kids into their basketball and football programs. And that began to change. And even these old bigoted ass, racist ass white folks that would fill the stands to go watch these damn black kids, but based on them having the helmets and just the jersey, they can compartmentalize the fact that this is a black athlete, whoop-de-whoop, Bear Bryant, yeah, it says, and Jackie Robinson, UCLA, says All-American. And then they can compartmentalize the fact that this is a black kid being on this program because now he represents the program of Alabama and all this other shit. And then it started taking away the opportunity of the white athletes. But it doesn't open the opportunity for a black coach. It's just to give these guys all this credit at the collegiate level. They ain't raising none of these kids down in the park and rec areas of training these kids, the middle school level, training these kids in the high school level. But now you start getting them to where black kids can go to these white schools. Let's open the door to start bringing them into our high schools and shit. And then act like we trained them up when you ain't do none of that shit. Like, come on, homie. And then you get a dumbass, racist ass, bigot ass president talking about capping the money or even cutting the money out because it's black kids doing it. Because ain't no college kids in the swimming programs that these white kids go to these universities for making money like that because nobody wants to go. And even Nike, who is a white motherfucking corporation, Adidas, a white corporation. Who else is in sports apparel shit? X Armor and shit. Who are white corporations that even want to pour money into these predominantly white sports. You need a black motherfucker in it. Nike and it wasn't in the golf until Tiger coming to that bitch. Serena Williams in to bring tennis up. Like, get the fuck out of here. The fuck is going on? Nobody goes to watch hockey in college. Nobody goes into to watch fucking bowling in college. What else little despicable shit they play? Fucking swimming, synchronized swimming, lacrosse. Nobody watches that shit. And therefore no money pours in that shit. And their NIL deals are minuscule NIL deals. And so now they want to bring a standardized level and balance to them all making the same kind of money or whatever the fuck the ideal is. And because a little weak bitch like fucking Nick Saban isn't dominating and pouring under the table money into young kids. These kids deserve to make millions and shit. But it's okay for the coach like Nick Saban to earn all this money from Nike, giving him a contract. Nobody come to watch Nick Saban. Nobody come to watch any of these old punk ass coaches. The coach just order you, run. These athletes doing all this other shit. Breaking their necks. They're the ones getting the concussions. I ain't never seen a coach get a concussion. I ain't never seen a coach with a concussion if a nigga ran into him on the sideline. And Nick Saban ain't a Deion Sanders type coach. Did Nick Saban play football? I doubt it. He probably was some old dude that smooched and rubbed the ass of some other motherfucker that opened the door for him and gave him opportunities of being a coach. And he says, and then you get this shit to where Nick Saban them get Nike contracts. They get fucking big ass contracts from the university. Video game companies can make money off of this shit. Don't nobody buy a fucking collegiate NCAA football or basketball game for no fucking because the school is there. I'm gonna play it because I want to see what this nigga who I used to play with Roy Williams in the Texas Longhorns. I want to see what Roy Williams looked like. I'm about to be running with the Texas Longhorns, or I want to see what Reggie Bush and them look like, and they didn't earn a motherfucking penny off of that shit. But everybody brought it because these dudes doing on the real field, and then people loving video games, seeing what they can do, and these companies, whatever was the company that made NCAA, I forget the name of that company, they ain't here just turning into billion-dollar companies off the likeness of some motherfucker that's out here really doing this shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. And you gonna tell these niggas what they can't earn, bitch ass dudes. So here go Nick Saban, hoe ass.
Did the current chaos and state of the law contribute to your decision to retire now?
Well,
yeah, EA Sports
I believed in for all these years.
This is bitch.
50 years of coaching.
Now take it. 50 years of coaching backwards. So he done ran through manipulating, exploiting a bunch of these motherfuckers. 50 years of coaching.
No longer exist in college athletics. So it's always was about developing players. It was always about helping people be more successful in life.
And so it was always about helping people be more successful in life. Like, yeah, fucking right. This is about these kids' talents making you more financially successful in life. It's all about fiscal shit for the individual, for the king. He has a Trump-like mindset. And this is why Trump wants to meet and support these dudes, because he thinks he's a king and shit. And that's all Nick Saban wants to be. What kids have Nick Saban developed? He ain't helped one of these kids who done came through Alabama that had all kind of kids go through fucking issues. Get to the league, frustrated in life, and can't figure out shit. They don't go to Nick Saban. Some of these niggas is too dumb to realize how Nick Saban ain't been shit. All right, get the fuck out of here. Let me continue on. 50 years of coaching. He talking about what it's been about. No, it's been about to help people be successful in life is through finances, dumbass. So his thing of developing successful people is to keep them poor, make them work hard throughout all their years. Been playing this sport for fucking 15 years before they reach this food doorstep. Probably, I'll say about 10 years before they reach the doorstep of Nick Saban or his university, begging and pleading for these kids to come here, only to offer them nothing but 3 hot meals, a bed, room and board, and transportation to and from games and shit. Traveling, you get to see the rest of the United States. You'll travel to this university, that university, but you'll stay poor while your mama and daddy struggle to make fucking payments and shit. The fuck out of here. So dude's a punk, homie.
He even said to me, we'd have all the recruits over on Sunday with their parents for breakfast. And she would always meet with the mothers and talk about how she was going to help and
he sound like a plantation owner
sons and how they would be well taken care of. And she came to me, like right before I retired and said, why are we doing this? And I said, what do you mean? She said, all they care about is how much you're going to pay them. They don't care about how you're going to develop them, which is all what we've all.
Yeah. So you hear what his funky ass wife said. Why are we even doing this? Fuck you and your wife. And these black kids ought to recognize that shit. Like this motherfucker, he sound like the plantation. So what you hearing is the same viewpoints or what white slave owning motherfuckers view this shit, especially when the war was coming to an end. That 1860 war was about to end. This motherfucker is stupid. Bringing them over for breakfast and shit. The fuck they need to go to your house for breakfast? You pay them, they go get their own breakfast. Fuck out of here.
About is how much you're going to pay them. They don't care about how you're going to develop them, which is all what we've always done. So why are we doing this? So, to me, that was sort of a red alert that we really are creating a circumstance here that is not beneficial to the development of young people. And I want their quality of life to be good. I think, as I said before, name, image, and likeness is a great opportunity for them to create a brand for themselves. I'm not against that at all. But to come up with some kind of a system that still can help the development of young people, I think, is paramount to the future of college athletics.
So do they create the same system with young little computer tech kids? Because the computer tech world is full of these old sit in the chair ass software code writing motherfuckers, and nobody wants to put a limit on how much these kids are making before they turn 20, millions of fucking dollars. 100 million, even billions by the time they hit 30 and shit. But it ain't no cap and limit on what they can do. Why? Because majority of them fucking white kids who come from privileged backgrounds mainly. And you get this little punk ass dude, Nick Saban, that run all these championships off the talent and sacrifices of young black dudes who already come from fucked up goddamn economic situations. And he got the nerve to say that shit. Like, this nigga's a bozo, homie, a hoe ass dude. I get in the comments after I get through this shit because I want to be thrown off with some comment, and I just want to keep my point. Like, this motherfucking Nick Saban's a hoe. Being a hoe, I always knew he was a hoe. Even when Alabama was winning all the shit, everybody amped with Alabama. Man, fuck Alabama. Fuck all these. This is why you don't hear me talking about no damn favorite team. I can't stand when niggas ask what's your team. That's some of the most dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. That's why I laugh at my cousin when his team lose. Niggas got favorite teams. Fuck these damn teams. This shit is all about the athletes, the people who are the reason why you watch that shit. But I understand why people like teams. I do. But I don't. That's the reason why I don't got a team. I don't like none of these teams. I look at it. Don't nobody look like this that own one of these motherfuckers. You barely see anybody coaching the motherfuckers that look like this. This is how fucked up the standards is across the American sports situation. Probably even the worldwide sports situation. Like, it's sickening. When these ain't the people who developing these kids. It's a lot of these kids, probably some kids, because so many black kids are transferring to these other white schools that pay them as well to come there, give them opportunity and exposure, that a lot of black kids are now going into situations that are cultural, that are culture shocks to them and shit. Because it's funny how they open the doors for them for fucking athletic situations. Now that the schools have found out how great the financial opportunities sports present to them and shit, that let's bring these inner city kids who we really don't want the rest of them unless they have a talent. Then they can come here because they're going to bring money here, and those kids can't earn any of the money that they're about to have coming to the school. From now, you got networks that want to cover high school sports and shit. Apparel companies coming there endorsing the sports program. Rich alum pouring money into these programs because of the black kids going there, being bussed in from the inner city. Or some of these white coaches will even find an apartment they'll rent for the kids, or let the kid live here with me. I'll be his guardian. These kids facing all type of culture shocks. Never been around white folks like that. And white folks find a culture shock, never seen black folks. But over time, it's become a normalized thing. This is the athlete that they don't even ask of, what do you do? What team are you with? Because they ain't about to ask, dang, what type of technological program are you in? What type of science background do you have? What type of engineering background you have? They just immediately go with the, you're here for sports. We thank you for the great opportunities you have created for us. The money that flows into our other programs. Says, man with no country says isn't a man at all. America is your country, bro. I mean, that comment sounds very, very great. I mean, it's a repeated comment, but America is your country. I don't know where niggas get that. It's just whether or not you willing to fucking remove these little piece of shit Nick Saban looking motherfuckers and Donald fucking Trump type motherfuckers out the goddamn way. Like, fuck out of here. This is your fucking country, bro. The hell you niggas mean, bro? You can remove these motherfuckers. They don't have to be there in the way. But like I say, with Donald Trump being the despicable motherfucker he is, all this shit going on in the country of what he is being so anti-American and being so Hitler-like because it's about blonde-eyed, it's about blue-eyed blonde hair and shit. All these little niggas with kinky hair, brown eyes, some black motherfuckers got blue eyes and all that shit, but a darker tint to them and shit. Pigmentation to them. Money? Hell no, something wrong in here. Hold on, let me take a break from all this cutting up shit from the rest of the American motherfuckers, because this niggas over here in sports who are making money as sports athletes. This is an institution of oppression. College football is meant to be the plantation. That's why the NFL owners are saying all that slave owning shit during the Kaepernick shit. But let's go into DeSanto's delusional shit. Right. Let's wake up.
Ron, please.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, for doing this. I mean,
And this is the governor of Florida. This nigga probably ain't even picked up a soccer ball in his life, but got the nerves to talk sports. And who is this black motherfucker? This black motherfucker just protest. Who the hell is this jigaboo? Hold on. Look at him. He just got jigaboo look on his motherfucking face. He slipped by me. Look at this motherfucker. Look at him. He old good old boy. Tom, what you need? Some coffee? Sir, who needs a shoe sign? And this nigga's supposed to be up at man, get the fuck out of here.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, for doing this. I mean, you have pedaled to the metal on so many different issus, from national security to border to energy.
The Santos man is a homo, man. This nigga's act so damn gay for Trump.
And you're not taking the pedal off any of that, and you could be forgiven to say
Let's
college
go
sports
lick
is
his
important,
ass,
but your
fuck.
plate's full, and you just added it to all the other things that you're doing, and I thank you for that.
The one thing about DeSantos is he can't stand no black motherfuckers making money, especially Miami niggas. He can't stand them old Miami gold teeth wearing motherfuckers making money. He said that's a tether at the table. They ain't brought this. I mean, this black nigga on there being a good old boy. Mm-hmm. I'm just here. I'm just here to look like there's a little diversity in here. I got no say. Mm-hmm. The conversation just bounced all around that motherfucker. They was going around the table, jumped over that black nigga, went to DeSantos and shit. Mm-hmm. And then there goes DeSantos with his old fucking Puerto Rican ass kissing, or where the fuck he's supposed to be from. It ain't America.
This would not get done without your leadership. No one else could get this group together. No one else could work with Congress to be able to do it. And so I appreciate it because it is important to a lot of people. I mean, we know this is...
Matthew, let's go on this one with Trump. We also want to see. This is the other one that makes them mad. This is the type of shit make Nick Saban pissed. But hold on, let me go into Trump because I want to show this football player and what they do. Now, niggas going to do dumb shit with their money. But this ain't a thing to be saying the development. We need to take the money because some old dumb nigga I'm going to show out of Texas. There's a Texas Longhorn wearing gold chains like he Floyd. Some niggas ain't going to know what to do. You give them money. And then therefore, if they fuck off their opportunities, not showing up to practice late, they get kicked off the team. Void the contract.
Incredible ruling.
Look at this stupid
And
ass
it threw
president.
the sports world and the college athletic world into tithers. And that's where we are right now.
What is
crazy
tithers?
things are happening. Young people are being signed, 17-year-old quarterbacks, for $12 million, $13.
So he got an issue with them making $12 million. Why he pocket watching? Why he pocket watching? If that's what the fucking universities want to pay for the dude and they're going to compete for, it's all about competition, negotiating. If somebody going to pay you that, then that's what you fucking worth, you dumb motherfucker. But if he was a tech motherfucker, Elon Muskberger wanted to transfer to another university because of what he has an expertise on in developing software and engineering shit, he can go and make a transfer to a university that pay him $2 trillion. The fuck out of here, punk ass dude.
Million, 14 million. We have a 7-year freshman. You know, we have people, we're seeing things that we've never seen before.
A 7-year freshman. He's just making up shit. He's just making up shit. Who gives a fuck if they've been there for 7 years?
We have college players that don't want to go to the NFL because they're making more money in college, right, Jim Jordan?
So that's the reason to sit at this damn table because they don't want to go. Someone ain't gonna make the NFL. What is Trump talking about? If they're able to stay on the team and still earn that money, then it's a job. They're making money. Then let them be there until they be like, your value's no longer needed here. Because the white dude just won the goddamn championship for Indiana the first time in their history. Wasn't that like his 5th or 6th year in college? And now that white dude is gone, they ain't got nothing to say. And this white dude was older than everybody, about to be a #1 draft pick. And then the steamrolling to making more money for itself. Like these dudes, everything is about race with these fools. Everything.
And a lot of really bad things are happening.
But this fool focus, rather than being about this country, the rising cost of everything, he focused in on sports because black kids are making millions. But then he'll point out, well, I'm talking about the white kids because the white kids, you ain't even talking about none of them. You ain't talking about Arch Manning. You ain't talking about this Menendez nigga who just left Indiana. You talking about the black kids. And Fernando Mendoza says was already a senior, says, I think he was in his like 5th or fucking 6th year or some shit. But let me go into this dude and what they don't like seeing. What these kids use their money. If the kids get their money, they're going to blow it on whatever the fuck they want, regardless if they in the NFL, working for some other company, or what they blow their money on is what they blow it on.
The House versus NCAA settlement. There's an example of it. Hello, Trey Wisner.
26 pounds of iced out Cuban links on Trey Wisner's neck right now. By the way, that was a nice throw in rhythm.
This is the shit that the Nick Saban types hate seeing this shit. But this kid is a fucking idiot as well. And all it shows that this kid comes from a poor background, wanted to be seen, wanted to be loud because that's the type of upbringing he has received. And that's simply it. He don't understand money and the fact that how money works, how money ends, and then how going back to the poorhouse can begin again. Like, he's just stupid. But ain't nobody to tell him how to spend him. You can give the nigga advice, but he want to be hard-headed, then you let his ass feel how hard the landing is when he slams to the fucking earth on his funky, broke ass. Like, he want to be stupid enough to buy that shit. Don't nobody give a fuck about that shit. Shit look retarded. You ain't about to crack no bitches with that shit. A lot of these dudes wear it for other niggas to look at them so they get a compliment from a fucking dude. These niggas, man, come on, man. I can go into some other shit with dudes who do this shit.
To Ryan Wingo on that last throw. The first time that Arch Manning's really kind of looked comfortable early in this game.
So this is shit that they rather focus in on rather than the game that's in the first quarter, 0-0. They focused on showing this nigga attention with his dumb ass from wearing a bunch of chains. And he'll be benched for wearing all that stupid shit. Our coaches to tell him, hey, take that shit off. But he can spend his money however he want. But he becoming too much of a problem where he don't listen to shit. He hard-headed. He wanted to challenge coaches. Then he has to go. These motherfuckers just realize what the money shit is creating to where coaches can't talk a certain way to these young fucking kids. You can't be disrespectful to these young fucking kids. Because guess what? You can't sit them on the shelves, fuck them over. They can go transfer to another program with talent. But also, again, these kids ain't just getting money rolling into them. These kids got to be the best of the fucking best because doors close every day for these dudes. And injury can happen out of nowhere for these dudes. Fuck what Trump and Nick Saban whole ass talking about.
Should come with a contractual agreement to really.
And even Rich, what's his name? Rich Paul or whatever his name, even speaking on this shit and falling in line with these people. He need to fucking shut the fuck up. Like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Nothing need to change because you niggas been exploiting these motherfuckers, making money off of these dudes. Your whole fucking career derives off of the talent of these dudes. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Start to lessen the.
But see, he don't want to be anti-athlete.
Well, I would say the negative perception and behavior within the transfer portal.
The transfer portal is a problem. It's not the NIL, but the transfer portal is necessary. But I think they need to place limits on that transfer portal because even before the NIL, you'll see a parent, mainly the parents. The parents are the problem. It ain't so much of the young athlete. It's a lot of these damn sports parents that just want to pull a kid and get mad you ain't getting enough time on the court or on the field. Man, we're going to pull you, man. I talked to this coach over at this university over here, and he guarantee you're going to get on the field. We're going to take you there. And then he get there, some other kid out shining his ass in practice. He waking up late. He ain't putting the work in. He loses position. Then the parent, man, yeah, this coach hated, man. We need to go to this other school. I talked to another school, and we're going to send you over there. And then the same shit happened. So it ain't so much of the portal neither. It's these fucking dudes. And I like that certain schools ain't at the top of the throne anymore. I like seeing the Indiana and shit win. And I would be love to see Appalachian State win the goddamn national championship. The problem ain't the NIL. The problem is the structure of this old sharecropping ass sport of college fucking football.
Things like that. Like if we're gonna have student athletes get paid, we should teach them the proper way and the obligations that come with actually being paid. I agree with that.
I agree with that.
If you sign with Ohio State, for that matter, and you sign an NIL deal for $3 million, then that should come with a term. 2 years, 3 years,
1
whatever
year.
the case may be. But that way you're not signing with Ohio State for $3 million this year and then you're going to TCU for $4 million next year because it's going to hurt the purity of the game.
No, it's not. Absolutely, it's not. It ain't there about to hurt the purity because it don't hurt the purity when a nigga loses his position. It don't hurt the purity when a person is thrown on the bench. And even on the pro side, it don't help the purity when the team just wants to dump a damn player and don't tell the player about what their intentions are. They're doing backroom deals behind the player's back, hush hush shit, and don't even call the player after he's been traded, and don't even call his agent. So fuck what they talking about. Like these motherfuckers, man, it's just so much despicable, worthless motherfuckers governing this system in this country. Because people are behind this shit the way they vote. And also, after I read these comments, I want to get into this motherfucker who won the goddamn LA Marathon. Because I think that motherfucker cheated. I think this fool ran out of the goddamn stands. I think I'm going to go into that shit now. I think this fool ran out of the goddamn stands. Because ain't no way in hell. I can't wait to the next few days when they watch video. And they're going to watch the video of the marathon when it started at. Because they're going to have to review the camera. Because I ain't never seen a motherfucker in my life hawk an African in the damn marathon. Now, I would have been real suspicious if it was a white dude who ended up hawking this African down. But even being a black motherfucker from America, ain't no way you hawking a skinny-ass African who got a stupid lead. And then you run him down and shit and cross the line before. And that nigga passed out. The African passed out. This black nigga full of fresh lungs. That nigga jumped out the stands. Because it was years ago, it was a white lady pulled some shit like that. They knew it wasn't, they knew that bitch cheated. They watch all, and this is in the 80s or early 90s when they caught that bitch. So it wasn't even good quality cameras around. And they knew this bitch hopped in the cab, jumped out the cab like a mile and a half, at the mile and a half mark to the finish line and crossed before the Africans. Even white folks said, hell no. And I'm a black dude saying, hell no to this fool that won the damn LA Marathon. Ain't no fucking way. This dude, like 400 yards back, hawks this African down. The African trying to keep him off, passes out. The African passed out. He passed out at the goddamn finish line from exhaustion. The marathon is 26 fucking miles. You should not have that much energy to chase after a motherfucker like that. Ain't no goddamn way. But here's the video of this shit from the LA Marathon. It's crazy.
Seconds. He ran 2:25.17 in the Marathon Project that she missed her
Look at this
PR
lead.
by 2 seconds.
Okay,
Look at this
how
lead.
close is Michael from here? Are we?
Look, even they talking about. So you don't even see this guy in the goddamn picture. So this is the guy who's in the lead. And the damn finish line is like a few meters. He's a few meters away from the finish line. And some damn fool from out of nowhere, about 1,000 yards back, just hawks this dude. Ain't no goddamn way. Ain't no goddamn way, man. I'm vouching for this African, man. Ain't no way this shit happened fairly. So he's just about to come out of nowhere and hawk this dude. Look at this shit.
At the Marathon Project that she missed her PR by 2 seconds.
This
Okay,
dude
how
jumped
close
over
is
those
Michael
ladies.
from here? Is he within eyesight from us?
He's in the last. I don't know.
Here he comes.
Comes right now.
Here he comes.
So now here go the other dude. Here go the list of the other dude. And he just in here speeding. He in here speeding to catch
So
this
let's
dude.
get right back down to the finish line so we can watch Michael cross the
Look at
line
this
here.
shit.
Michael Kamau from
26-mile race. This motherfucker in second place is Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt on this African. I mean, hawking his ass.
Kenya.
Just over 2 hours and 11 minutes on the clock.
Look at this shit.
Oh, whoa.
Look at this shit. Look at this nigga. Man, you could at least fake this fucking shit. This nigga Ben Johnson with this shit. Not only did he jump over railing, this nigga on steroids. Look at this motherfucker. A 26, he fresh to the motherfucker. Look at his stride. The African nigga is running. Africans already can run a long distance, but the African running tired and shit. He can't even kick to another gear. You should not be able to kick into another gear running 26 miles. These niggas been running for 2 hours, 11 minutes. 2 hours, 11 minutes. And guess what? By the time the last nigga finished this race, it's going to be dark. It's probably niggas still running the LA Marathon. Look at this nigga. Look at this nigga. Look at this nigga. Look at this nigga. Look at this motherfucker.
It is a photo finish for...
Look at the African. The African just fucking died, nigga. This nigga full of fucking shit. He looked like old crooked ass nigga. Man, that nigga full of shit.
Crowning of the 2026 LA Marathon
look, he ain't even
champion.
tired.
I'm not sure.
Nowhere.
Look at this nigga. Man, put this motherfucker in jail when y'all find out he cheated. Look how fresh he is. This fucking crackhead ass nigga did not win that fucking race, man. He too goddamn fresh. He ain't even got no sweat on him and shit. The nigga ain't even got sweat. They about to figure this shit out by tomorrow.
Because we can only see just a little bit beyond.
He ain't even sweating. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. This fool ain't even built, even though he's skinny, he ain't even built like a marathon runner.
We have to see that play.
Real,
To see
Picasso, that's
exactly
Tupac.
what happened there, because he...
Motherfucking Tupac. Tupac that came from the third dimension through a time portal and hopped in the LA Marathon and shit. He lived to live and die in LA and shit and won him a fucking race. Ain't this some shit?
He crossed first,
Man,
right?
this nigga, man, take that flag off that motherfucker. He ain't winning that shit. Hey, get the fuck out of here. Nigga, the fucking Usain Bolt, the LA Marathon. Like, how the fuck you that far behind this nigga and then just took off in the last minute when you seen the finish line? Like, dude, make the shit look less obvious that you've been cheating. Like I said, they gonna watch the cameras from when the gun went off at the starting line, and they gonna be looking for this nigga because that's why they put them numbers on them damn fools. They gonna be like, damn, I don't see this nigga number 187. Where this nigga at? No, that ain't him. That ain't him. We don't see this fool. All right, let's see at the first mile marker. No, don't see him, but there is a crowd there. Maybe he's mixing that crowd. Mile 2, mile 3. Man, they do 26 miles. Mile 20. Nah, I don't see that motherfucker there. How about mile 22? No. Mile 23. I ain't nowhere. Mile 24. Nah. Mile 20. Oh, here this nigga go. How the fuck he in second place? That nigga that jumped out of a damn Uber. That motherfucker that Ubered his ass to the goddamn. He sat in the cut watching. They wait for that first place nigga in there because I know he been on camera. He jumped over a railing and shit. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get that motherfucking trophy out that nigga hands, man. Do not give him that check. Jose Sonata says why they miss what's that? Why they missed he got a gun. Says why they missed. And then Matthew F says all of my boys says that played under Nick under Nick at LSU says always said he was a snake. I'm glad they said that, Matt, because Nick Saban is a snake. And it showed as soon as these kids start making money, he retired just out of nowhere because them championships wasn't coming no more. He was having to battle these other universities at the all of a sudden universities that he was just smashing through. He wasn't smashing anymore. And he was warning, man, that transfer portal shit is unfair. It's so unfair to me. And I can't keep players because now we got to pay them. We ain't playing no black players. This money should be going to hockey. They motherfucking hoe ass people. And then Trump bitch ass coming in here to do this shit in the fucking with anything dealing with some black motherfuckers he believe. Asian Math says, since try to told y'all says always correct with King Asian Math. We don't know what you try to tell us, Asia. And then Matthew says, sup to everybody. And then Mark Summers says, always poor with Reggie Owens. Absolutely, always poor. I don't be faking like I'm rich. And then Matt F said, laughing his ass off. Matthew F says, let me see your papers, Mark Summers. Yeah, Mark Summers is definitely a European-American, new arriving European-American. And he's definitely got them damn papers. And then Mark Summers talking about always racism. Never racism, Mark Summers, just always pointing out when you see Trump in them, that type of racism. Because racism doesn't come in the form of calling you an N-word. That's the niggas who just want to get their jaw broke. Those type of niggas, they just have some kind of fetish with getting their jaw broken shit. Them type of niggas that throw out racist, that little racist epithet. That's just a little racial epithet. But it ain't the type of racism that comes from a person who can strike the pen and do things that affect you in everyday life and all that other shit. Ain't that type of racism that motherfuckers is worried about. See, that shit don't work. It ain't effective on me because I'm such a master of talking shit and being disrespectful, being comical and all this other good shit, good qualities that a nigga been birthed with, and being able to be one of the most disrespectful motherfuckers out here. And I just love it. I love being hurtful to motherfuckers, watching them cry, especially when they want to speak out offensive and shit. They want to be so offensive until offense strikes them at their own door, smacks them in the face. So that's the type of thing I do. And I love hearing people like Mark Sumner speaking about me being racist, which is far as fuck from the goddamn truth. People don't understand what racism is. But now if I was white, I'll be allowed to be racist to people. And there'll be even black people who will enjoy my racism towards them. They will support my racism because they will hide in fear of me being racist. If I was white, there's certain shit I would say. If I flipped it and wasn't saying the shit I call out about white folks like Trump and shit, and I did it about black folks, it'd be acceptable. Like Mark Summers here when I call out shit about black folks, and he stays silent about that shit, and therefore he doesn't term it as me being racist and shit. As long as I'm talking about black folks. But I'm way ahead in my thinking when it comes to people like you, Mark Summers. Way ahead of your parents, way ahead of your grandparents. Y'all can't fuck with me. It's just simple as that, Mark Summers. I'm glad you're staying here so I can teach you these lessons because you ain't never heard any of this shit taught to you like this. He says, I'll take them to school. Okay. All right, so I ain't got to take my kids to school. All right. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right, so that allowed me to sleep in a little bit longer. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me text, and I'll continue on with the next comment. And then Auto Boxing in the building saying, peace, brothers. Salute to Auto Boxing. And then user says, salute, partners. Salute. Matthew Sumner says, or Mark Sumner says, yes, we came and brought, we came and brought property here, Goofy. Nah, y'all didn't buy shit. Y'all was handed shit. As welfare. Y'all became the first welfare recipients before they even had a welfare program. Allowed y'all to homestead off of shit that wasn't supposed to be promised to y'all. But based on the betrayals of, entrusting, suit-wearing, little slick-head motherfuckers who sit there and lie throughout the course of American history, they allowed their grandparents or forefathers and foremothers, descendants to come over here and receive shit for free, while slaughtering natives. And then Velocity says, what up, nigga, conversations with Zuffa Owens. And then did Zuffa have something? Because I seen they had something over at this little bitch ass shit that Dana White owned with the UFC. I seen it was a bunch of people over there. It was like they having a party. It wasn't no people look like me in that motherfucker though. And then Mark Summers says, you just a renter who can buy, but ain't gonna buy. That's the thing you forget, Mark Summers. Remember that. And then, matter of fact, I'll go buy your house and kick you out on the street. Then tell the cops to get you from in front of that motherfucker, and I'll set your shit on fire. That's the type of shit I'll do with you, Mark Summers. Buy that little rinky-dink shit you live in and toss all your shit out and set it on fire right in front of this motherfucker on the sidewalk. Says you can go rent somewhere. It says you can go rent somewhere else. And then Matthew says the Sumner says the mongrel says the name of German. Says Dutch and English ancestry, says that has nothing to do with America, says they don't have a drop of true American blood in them, says those inbreds. And that's a fact. That's a fact with Mark Sumner's in them. You don't know where these motherfuckers from. You look up one day, they're in Argentina, they fucking from Peru, they in Mexico, they all over the motherfuckers, just all over the damn place, just acting a fucking nut till it's time to put a foot up they motherfucking ass. And then they do all this despicable shit and then play as if everybody else is the goddamn issue and shit. Like, that's the crazy shit with these damn motherfuckers. They're the ones committing all the crime and they're committing all this when it ain't just y'all doing crimes down here on the damn earth. Y'all doing crimes in space and shit. These fools, not only is they out here fucking up at the ground level, they fucking up in the air and shit. They fucking the air up, the air all fucked up. Oxygen don't even know what to do. These niggas done fucked up oxygen. And then let alone in space. That's why the Martians, why we can't find aliens and shit. Like I said before, We got aliens on the moon. They just look down, see one of these stupid motherfuckers from that old German science shit, then fucking launched a rocket, be like, these niggas coming to the moon, and the aliens go hiding under that motherfucker. They got tunnels on the moon and shit. And when they know that NASA motherfuckers done left, they come out and they live their everyday lives until you motherfuckers come bring your stinking asses up there fucking up some shit. Hold on, let me send this text back. Hold on. Give me 1 second. It says okay. And it says I'll damn your all right, so cool. That bought me enough time. I ain't got to wake up all super early. Thank God. Oh, hold on. Let me see. My nephew texted me. It's junior year, so I'm actually my best year so far. Boom, boom. Okay. All right, hold on. Let me change that. Hold on. Let me fix this. Give me 1 second. Oh, shit. Give me 1 second, folks. All right, cool. Yeah, my nephew in college said he got a 3.7. That's some good shit right there. All right, back into it. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying with Mark Summers, a degenerate piece of shit motherfucker who benefits off of the systems that are created inside of America. Like he said, when his people got here, they brought shit. No, you came in here off the privileges provided by this Nazi shit that takes place in America when Americans allow certain motherfuckers into its politics. And the fact that you motherfuckers come into American politics bringing this shit in here. And then Mark Summers is saying the boosters. I was trying to look for that term for the sports people, but Mark Summers staying here. He like when I just kick him in his motherfucking face with the truth. But then he's staying here, he'll give answers for shit. And then Velocity Cuss says, easy for punk ass Nick Saban to say when he was making 11 million a year. Yeah, 11 million. Like how the fuck do they justify Nick Saban earning this kind of money? Nick Saban shouldn't even be nowhere in making $1 million. No coach. Even you look at Lane Kiffin and shit. But nobody has an issue or say shit about these coaches who don't do shit, but can find value in a coach going to a program based on talking about, well, he won this much and this, and they do all this statistical shit to support the bullshit of paying some worthless ass coach. And they only get that shit based on the type of talented black kids they bring to these damn schools. And the fact that universities have that kind of money to pay out somebody. It ain't the motherfucking black athletic kid writing his own motherfucking check. Say, yeah, man, I'm making this kind of money. It's a motherfucker that found value. Another school find value in this kid to bring them fucking there. To bring them there. Because these schools don't do right by these fucking kids. Fuck these damn colleges and these sorry ass coaches. And the punk ass coach like Nick Saban. Whoever the fucking think the pay is worthless ass that kind of goddamn money. No, none of these coaches should even be making $1 million. None of them should be making $1 million. Ain't none of these motherfuckers bringing people to stand. Deion, the only motherfuckers been bringing people to fucking games. Nick Saban ain't brought nobody to the fucking game. His talented kids have. Piece of shit. He is sitting here whining a bitch ass Trump. And then WMSLT says 3.7 GPA is says crazy. Says steady age. Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. Matthew says booster says I think that says that college game money. And then the booster clubs. That's the word I was looking for, the boosters and shit. And then the Mark Summers says white schools says raise their own money. Says black schools says get all the money from the states. Mark Summers, are you serious about this shit? Because I think I remember seeing Trump pull billions of dollars from Harvard, Yale, and all them shit behind Jewish motherfuckers. So are we sure about this shit before you open your stupid, dingy, dirty ass, raggedy fucking mouth? Because I think there's huge disparities in the fiscal policies of this nation of where they pour money into. Because a lot of these universities were sitting in there begging, shaking in their boots when this peon anti-American ass president start pulling billions of dollars from these universities. in protection of them not allowing anti-Semitic shit. That ain't got nothing to do with America. That's all shit from out of Germany. Trying to get motherfuckers fired from their jobs. This anti-American ass president. Firing government officials from these jobs. This anti-American president. While everything else is rising for you. And this anti-American president don't give one fuck about you. Once again, go back to my cousin. You ain't getting a penny worth of change from this funky ass, lying ass, bait and switch ass president. And I love that he ain't gonna give y'all shit. So now you wake up to what politics is. Always right with your cousin, homeboy. Niggas, man, come on, man. Niggas gonna wake up someday. Someday. Sam Cooke should have wrote a song about that shit. Someday niggas gonna wake up. And the white ones too, like Mark Summers. So one day, white person like Mark Summers go wake his stinking ass up. But once again, he can't wake up when he's getting everything fed to him on a spoon. When he's getting spoon-fed bullshit that has provided these privileges to him. And then therefore, that's why there's no big NIL money to kids who don't do shit. There's no motivation for these kids to work hard, to get out there, to be faster, stronger than anybody, and not even smarter. The fuck out of here. And to try to manipulate the field from the education standpoint, they manipulate the type of education certain niggas get because they don't want to compete with black kids from an academic standpoint. Like, come on, homeboy. We know what it is. It ain't just start with Trump. It's been about 70 years before that. No, it's been about 300 years before that motherfucker. But it's time for people to wake up and start putting their foot down on that type of system and checking these motherfuckers. And then Velocity Cuskers, y'all just think it was just from an athletic standpoint, not an intellectual standpoint. I'll do you motherfuckers. And then Velocity Cuss says they still mad about Coach BOK Prime says getting all that shine. Yes, a lot of them white coaches are jealous of that shit. A lot of them. And the rest of them ain't play football at the level of Deion. None of them. Except now you got other black coaches. The other black coaches getting the opportunities are the ones who played the game at a high level. But the white ones ain't got to have played the game and getting all these opportunities. It's crazy to me. It's fucking the most insane shit to me. And they don't even know how to fucking coach. They just bringing in the top of talented kids to these programs who know how to play football, know how to work out, know how to get in conditioning, as long as they don't get distracted. Outside there ain't nothing the collegiate coach is teaching these kids. It ain't nothing that the pro level coaches is teaching these kids. As long as these kids know how to work out, know how to maintain a diet that keeps certain things in check, get stronger, get faster, that's all that matters. And that's the separator with these dudes. And then sometimes, and then having a greater IQ in the game is and shit. And then football, I don't think football applies that much IQ shit related to it. They act like the white quarterbacks have to apply IQ. I just think it's things that separate speed, power, and all that other shit. And then Matthew says, Mark Summers says, all public schools, says regardless of whether they are mostly white, black, Latino, or mixed, says receive public funding. He says through the same basic struggle. Thank you, Matthew, because I'll just respond to this dumbass little fucking inbred foreigner, Mark Summers. And then L5 playing the building salute. Silvestri says what's good. And then WMS says 44,000 Nevada says without snap says fucking bullshit. And imagine how many of these poor rural motherfuckers who have lost that shit. Because Nevada is full of poor ass rural welfare receiving motherfuckers. And they voted for that shit. And therefore they're gonna get what they fucking voted for. And well-deserved by this bait and switcher named Donald Trump. And anti-American motherfuckers who once upon a time, all these degenerate dumb fucks flew his flags off of pickup trucks, slapped them on their bumpers. And now I can't find near one of these motherfuckers. That's what they do. They hide their identity like Mark Summers and them hide where the fuck they originally descend from. These fools change identity all the fucking time throughout the history of these motherfuckers. I don't see a Trump flag nowhere. I was driving down the Vegas Strip yesterday, and I see a truck. It was because it started getting dark, and I see flags flying off fucking truck. And I'm looking, like I said, that Trump shit rages me. And I'm looking, I know this ain't no bitch motherfucker flying a Trump flag. It was a Mexico flag. I said, man, I ain't seen the Trump flag nowhere in sight for it. Not even when the election was popping. People was starting to not even fly that shit. After they won the election, I see nobody putting up that Trump shit. Because now they pushed this shit and they were going to see what they benefit from it. How was Trump going to get at black folks? How much they were going to benefit from it. Oh, we about to be rich. Everything's about to pour in. Trump's about to look out for us. Trump's about to get at this system and this and that bullshit. Yeah, he definitely got at you. Fucking all you. All I hear from these fools is crybaby shit. All day, every day. Even tomorrow when I go in, I'm going to hear crybaby shit from these people. Nobody is a Trump supporter. He got their kids dying over in Iran and shit. They fucked up the oil prices. One of the things that is the lifeblood of America, oil. You're watching the price on everything skyrocket. I didn't even know prices went up. I ain't never seen prices jump on Saturday or Sunday. I ain't never seen that shit. There's another gas station, a cheap gas station. This motherfucking gas done jumped almost $1. It's been almost $1 in the last 4 days from this. I forget even the name of that gas because I don't go to that shit. They gas almost $4 now. The AMPM, no, the what is that? Arco gas station, because I go to the Chevron. Chevron had almost been about 70 cents more than the Chevron and shit. That fucking gas at Arco has skyrocketed so fucking high. It is almost the same price as that Chevron. Chevron is only 50 cents more than theirs. But come Monday, that gas is probably going to jump 20 cents, I guarantee. Because oil is now over $100 now. Oil's over $100. And these idiotic motherfuckers just doing nothing but blowing up oil fields because they can't win that fucking war. That campaign is done. And then Matthew says, wait, did I read that one? Oh, yeah. And then Matthew says Trump cuts people off of snaps, says every year, says and brag about it at the State of the Union, says like he accomplished something. Yeah, he's just taking away from Americans. And then opening the door for tech motherfuckers. All these little fucking degenerate motherfuckers who don't work, who don't do anything. Tell pro computers to do this and that shit. Open the door for these motherfuckers. But take it away from people that got to go out there, run, collide with motherfuckers, jump to get a ball. And then Matthew says, because if it was dogs in college just jumping for bones and shit, they wouldn't complain. And the WMS says 445 at the Shell, says Green Valley grocery store, says on Fort Apache and Twain. And that's Fort Apache Twain. Oh, that's way up there. And watch, by tomorrow, that shit gonna be about I wouldn't be surprised this shit at 460 something by tomorrow. And then the gas I had to pay for, I was paying $5 for gas because I had to do that 91 shit. And that shit $5. I'm like, man, and my kids been telling me to come pick them up. I'm like, I don't know about driving all the way that way to pick you up, and then I got to bypass they mom house in that direction just to take them all the way to school. I'm like, man, y'all can stay over her house for the weekend, homie. Y'all can stay over there because I'm like, that defeats the purpose. Like for me to drive way out there and burn up all that fucking gas just to kind of go back that direction again. And he says Dabo says another out of touch coach. So another out of touch white, good old boy coach. And that's the dude out of Clemson. Because once again, when he won that one with Clemson, it was off the heels of black talent. And then there was a talent where he wasn't paying those kids neither. And he says the baby boomers says fucked everything up. That's a fact. Says climbed up the ladder, says that was given to them, says and then pulled it up, says so nobody else could climb it. And man, like I say, I was talking about the other day how I used to always watch the news as a young kid, always watch the news. And around elections, I used to always see when they have like a town hall and these town halls get heated, and it'd be always older motherfuckers be like, or some conscious thinking motherfucker that day be like, man, we fucking it up for our grandkids. We're messing it up for the future generation. And this is not going to turn out right. It's to always be this shit. And I used to always hear this shit back in the early 80s as a kid talking about police state shit. And so many people seen that while all the other ignorant motherfuckers ignored that shit. Like, oh, this person is just paranoid. This person just panicking. And it's all about, man, we're making this money, this and that. But you don't see the tricks that's being played with you. What they're taking away from you. And these people just voting against their own interests, fucking it over. And now these old people who, when they were young and deciding to vote in these type of directions, have now come to an age of retirement and there's nothing there for them. Retirees don't earn shit. Don't earn shit. And a lot of them were homeowners and they got to a point of retirement, can't afford that shit. The retirement ain't shit because they didn't think consciously about what they were doing. And now it creates a situation where younger generations have it worse. And then Matthew says the Bear Bryant they were talking about, says Jackie Robinson, UCLA All-American. And then I know Boxer says UCLA had the black kid, says played Alabama, says Coach Bear Bryant, says they dominated Alabama. So Bear Bryant says asked for black kids to join Alabama. That's the shit I'm talking about right there. It was UCLA that did that shit, brought the black kids to spank their ass. And now said, we're going to have a meeting with white parents here. Listen here, white parents. I'm sorry I have to deliver this devastating news, white power, but we're going to have to bring some of them damn wide-nosed niggers, all right? I'm sorry now. That means in practice, your kid is going to be getting his ass kicked because these black kids are a different breed. I'm pretty sure old Al Bundy, he used to look good and used to look fast, he used to look strong, but now we're about to integrate this shit, and little Al Bundy going to go to selling shoes. I'm sorry. But I got to do it. That ass whooping UCLA put on us. I just can't do it in the name of white power. I'm so sorry. But Alabama is part of the program because Alabama is white. We're going to put a helmet on these niggas' heads. Matter of fact, we're going to put the cage over their heads. So, make it feel like slavery. We encage the niggas. So we got them in control. Ain't going to be none of that open mask shit. So you can see a white, what they call white superior face. Mm-hmm. But so this is the way we're going to make it acceptable. We put a cage over the nigger's face. So you ain't got to see that nose and them big ass lips. And then we don't want your daughters lusting over them and shit. They ain't made no rosebud kitty cat toy yet. And they ain't made a vibrating dildo yet. But we don't want your daughters in there get one off on these old wide motherfuckers. I don't know why they find these motherfuckers so appealing. And so they start bringing them. And then bam! Little white girls start getting a little bit, they start getting a little bit loose and shit. Black motherfuckers in there making all type of mulatto. That mulatto population exploded around that college. And the Vlasi Cuss says facts, says shit. Brazy says how they rewarded Lane Kiffin says with a $90 million contract. Just talking about that hoe. We all on the same point. I'm glad I covered this topic because this shit bugged me. And this topic has been going on for like last week. I think I talked about it during. When did we talk about that shit? It was me and Deuce. I think on Thursday we talked about that shit. But I've been wanting to cover this shit, so I'm glad I had covered this because it's wrong for Trump and them to do that shit. Of all shit Trump want to jump on in the problems in this country, he run a bunch of crybaby little bitch ass people to talk about he gonna write executive order to address this shit. Fuck your executive order. Executive order ain't going nowhere. And then Mark Summers says you think that's all the coach does. Man, for the most part, Mark Summers. Nobody come there to watch them coaches. And then Matthew says, Nick Saban says was probably handling kids' college money, and McDonald's says he's probably handing college kids money in McDonald's bag. Says the back of the parking lot. He's handing them. That's exactly what he's doing. A lot of them coaches be doing that shit. Get them kids over there. Pull little NCAA violations and shit that everybody got to be silent on. But as soon as the game changes, he up here running the president. And the president whole ass want to go to Congress with that shit. Didn't they make this a fucking law? Like these fools always want to challenge some shit when it comes to people making money. Depending on what they look like making money, then it's a problem. Mark Summers says, oh man, says you don't know ball. And then Deuce Simon in the building, salute. Hey, Deuce. How about your boy Wemby? How about them Spurs? Jashawn, where you at? How about them Spurs? You still hating on Wemby because I know you seen that nigga blow the motherfucking rockets out. And he said that was the EA Sports. I was talking about the college basketball shit. And then he says NCAA football 6 says with Vince Young. Yeah, that shit. I was killing people with Vince Young and shit. Roy Williams, when he played, I think he was the year before that. Or did Roy Williams come after Vince Young? Yeah, I think Roy came after Vince. No. Who was first? No, I think Roy was on there first. Roy Williams was there first. And then Vince Young came later. But I used to kill people when Roy Williams was at Texas, when they got college football out. Man, you couldn't stop me with the Longhorns. I just tossed the ball up to that nigga. And he said, have my money ready. He says, John, man, I want my money in hundreds. And then Velocity Cuss says, hey, Cuss says, you see the Bozo administration says isn't able to accomplish regime change in says in Iran. Says shit backfire. Shake my head. Absolutely. Everything falling apart for these motherfuckers. Now you got Russia in there providing that shit. Salute the Russia. Fuck what Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu talking about. The Israelis need to remove Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu should have been fucking put out of his misery when he caused that other president to get killed. That fool Benjamin Netanyahu is a despicable motherfucker. I forget what was the damn president that he got killed over there. It says how long? Not long. I'm not going for no extremely long live stream. I'm gonna just cover these comments and then I'm out. And then, but I forget who was the fool he killed. Not Ariel Sharon. It was, they might did a live on that shit. That Benjamin Netanyahu had got that one president killed over there and shit. And then Matthew says that orange clown says doesn't know what he's doing. Trump don't know anything. He just knows some black motherfuckers making money and he can't have that shit. Just like how Bob Arum couldn't stand when Floyd was flying private jets next to him. And Bob Arum always said in his mind, like, I ain't never helping one of these black motherfuckers get that rich. The hell with that shit. And he says, hey, look at dude, he's talking about F. Wemby. He says, and the Spurs. Man, dudes, hey, give credit where credit is due, bro. You know, you watch that shit, was like, damn, this nigga Reg is right. I can't say that shit. But y'all got to understand, when I be saying that always right shit and all that, I just be joking. Y'all ain't got to take it to heart. But I know it just feels that way because when we have conversations on shit, and then I'll be like, I'll see shit this way. I'll be right. I'll be more right than a lot of you motherfuckers. I just throw it in your face because y'all be buying the conspiracies, but I don't be believing that shit. Just know, I just know when I say shit, how it can rub people the wrong way. Sometimes I like to laugh at this shit, but I don't be believing that shit. Therefore, it don't anger y'all. But I just wish you recognize that tall ass motherfucker can ball. And not just that he's tall, that he puts the work in. That's ultimately what it is. And the rest, it ain't just even about him. He got a team that puts the work in. And they're going to win the NBA Finals. And let them know they're going to go to that shit and they're going to win that shit. And then Velocity Cuss says they don't want to see any more Shador Sanders, says they're flexing bust down rollies in college facts. That shit, when the white folks watching that shit, it used to rub them the wrong way. That's even like when they used to do with you deal with poor black folk. Now, it wasn't even poor, but like black folks are mainly the ones like poor black young folks who will be the ones who will always throw this shit in people's face when they getting food stamps and this and that shit. It used to rub other people who work for shit. It used to rub them the wrong fucking way, make them mad, but it'd be some old stupid ass, poor, degenerate, low life motherfucker who will floss their refrigerator full of food, what they brought with fucking food stamps. And other people used to be supportive of, like, man, fuck that food stamp shit, cut that shit. Take that shit away from them and not realizing you just reacting off of what this one degenerate, idiotic motherfucker put out there. Now you want to see other families affected by this shit. But now you're going to run into where you see these families who have to go through a new level of survival, running up in stores, stealing shit. And now you got an issue over that shit. Like, no, you can't play into that shit. I think the little low-life, poor, degenerate motherfucker ought to be called in by these programs and either removed from that shit, but not to make other motherfuckers suffer from that shit. And from them seeing Shador flexing shit, because Shador could probably flex that shit without college football. He come from a wealthy father who is fiscally responsible, manages his money right. And then WMS says Mofo wasn't shit, says for a coach, says what Mofo wasn't shit, says for a coach without his recruitment game. Says of course he's an opponent of the NIL. I'm talking about Nick Saban, hoe ass. Matthew says Nick Saban is a sleazy, says used car salesman. All the motherfuckers, man. I can't stand the motherfucker, especially that Lane Kiffin motherfucker. I don't like a lot of these dudes. It's a few of the white coaches who was all right. I didn't even like when the Raiders had that Gruden motherfucker. I was glad when that Gruden shit came out and they kicked his ass out the league. I knew Gruden was. I just got some fucking sixth sense of just looking at motherfuckers and be like, this nigga a piece of fucking shit. And the WMS says, yep, says I'm into the individual athlete. Says fuck all that rah shit. Says for teams. Yeah, I can't rock with that rah shit. I never cheer on the team. Never cheer on how these niggas be fangirls of certain fighters and all that other shit. Sylvester says Trump ain't prepared to go to war with Iran. He ain't. They did some foul shit. Call that negotiation just so they can do intel and surveil the fucking leaders over there and kill them. Catch these people with their guard down, and then just to launch an attack. And then it's fucked up. The soldiers got to do. I'm a soldier, homie. But Iran, I also respect and defend countries. They ain't no adversary to me, but other countries with the right to fucking defend themselves. Because when they interviewed the Iranian president, like, we ain't got nothing against America, but he has an understanding. It's this bitch y'all got over there as y'all president. Like this nigga Trump to let shit go to his head like he's some big time bully. Like there ain't nothing buff about Trump. Trump a whole hiding behind the military. A force he was scared to fucking even join. Even that Hegseg motherfucker, he bitch made too. I guarantee, man, these niggas is all of them. And then Matthew says, I'm a University of Texas fan, says because it's a family legacy, says we all went to college there. So that's why why in my case. And then I think it's fucked up for families even push that kind of shit. Like you got to go to a university because grandfather went there, grandmother. I think that's bullshit. Because what if you got a kid that don't want to go there? Do you turn on them? And then Mark Summers says, man, you're delusional. Mark Summers, whenever you say that shit, that's when I know I'm right. So keep saying that. And plus, if you didn't say that, just know that your words are irrelevant as well. So when you say shit like that, I know I'm hitting you in the heart. I'm striking a chord with you. So therefore, I'm being, really effective. My point is hitting the mark. Point unintended, Sumner. And then he says, or maybe you are maybe just stupid. Saying I'm delusional or stupid. WMS says Matthew. Sorry, he says Matthew says that's understandable. And the Deuce Time says man with no country says isn't a man at all. And that's true, but it's a lot of foreigners who come here. But black folks, you are American, so you have a country. You just got to deal with bigots who it's time to remove the bigot. It's time to not praise and worship the fucking bigot. It's time to not think you're going to get something out of the bigot. It's time to stop thinking that, the open racist, I love the open racist because at least I know what he is. And therefore I can work with him because he'd say nigga to my face and tell me he don't like me. So therefore I know I can get something from him. Yeah, fucking right. Ain't no compromise with a motherfucker like that. And then Mark Summers says you ain't American. I'm American through and through. More American than Trump. And then Mark Summers says you're a tribal black clown. Says from South Central. Man, I'll be that. I like that. A tribal fucking black motherfucker from the West. And then Matthew says that's an American. That's an American. Mark Summers says laugh out loud. And then he says that guy is a house slave. Laughing my ass off. And then or laughing out loud. And then Claude with TJ says that's a tether, talking about that black dude at the table with DeSantos and shit. The only black nigga in there, just motherfucking straight butter biscuit, tea sipping ass dummy. And then Deuce Time says it wasn't about country, says it was a metaphor, says about going for a team. That's even worse, Deuce. That's even worse. Like, what are you talking about? You ain't gotta be a fan of a fucking team, bro. You like football, right? You can be a fan of the sport. The team ain't gonna do with what you want. And the Cowboys sure the fuck ain't gonna do it with a slave owner like Jerry Jones, who thinks he knows everything. Ain't never fucking he played the worthless era of football. So he ain't even worth anything to football. He played in the worthless era of football. Right before the black folks would have fucking made it to where he never would have stepped foot on a football field. He played farm ball. And then Arnold Boxer says, I think that's Florida State Attorney General. regardless of what he is, the attorney general, what is he doing even at the thing about the damn NIL shit? I don't get why the attorney general needs to be, or even why governor needs to be there. The fuck a governor needs to be talking about some NIL shit. And then Matthew says, Malcolm X says, we'll probably slap that guy, laugh out loud. And then Matthew says, Texas, a wide receiver named Cook says he got cut because he went crazy. He says, I'm not sure if it was, I'm not sure if it was because of the money, he says, but he was posting crazy things on social media. It says here at on social media, says he's at Syracuse now. But shit, did they evaluate whether or not he was doing that shit because of a concussion? It couldn't have been just the money. A lot of them overlooked the fact that these kids are fucking themselves up. Like, I can imagine getting I have had a concussion before, and that shit is fucked up, but it ain't fucked with no football concussion. That shit came from the homie poked me in my eye. We out there boxing in gloves. And that nigga had fucking like the UFC style gloves. I got boxing gloves. That nigga knuckle. We out there just doing like light little playing around like boxing and shit. And that nigga's like punch. And you know how in the UFC, how with the gloves you can poke somebody in the eye. Cause when he threw a jab out, he did his knuckles like this, or I don't know if he had a finger out or what. And he pushed me in my eye. And for a while, I didn't even feel it. He probably struck me with his knuckles too, but he pushed my eye and shit. And so for a while, man, that fucking, like we ended that shit. I couldn't see, but I ain't got no headache, none of that shit. I just couldn't see. Like for a while, I couldn't see none of that shit. My eye red as fuck. Time move on. Later that day, man, I had a headache. I'm in there throwing up. I was like, couldn't even do shit for like a day or two. That shit was bad as fuck. But it ain't created to where it was like an impact on the brain or none of that shit. These dudes who get them brain impact type of shits are fucked up. And then in the WMS says he brought like a whole. Wait, talking about Nick Saban. And then Matthew says Fernando Mendoza says already a senior, says I think. And then Otto Boxing says I think that black dude says sitting by DeSantos is the black state surgeon general. And then he's still a sellout looking ass dude. And then Picasso is saying, yo, WMS says he just a kid though. Says if they had problems with it, says they should have checked his ass in the block room. Facts. But the kid, I don't like seeing kids buying all that shit. But who am I? Who the fuck am I? But it's certain place like you shouldn't be wearing that shit. That shit is worthless to the motherfuckers. Some of these dudes want to be flashy. Matthew says the NIL money shows us who's really about to. The NIL shows us what us. Damn, I'm fucking up my reading. The NIL shows us who's really about the game or not, says, and Trey Wisner is at Florida State now. He transferred. Says Texas got two new transfer backs, probably with huge NIL deals. Says Texas got tons of money. Yeah, it should. The kids should be able to bounce back and forth. Now, if you did a better job of fucking creating an environment where the kids want to stay, and you offer them money, you could be more competitive with the money, then oh well. Or else find another kid that comes in. If a university is paying one kid a bunch of money, you open opportunity for a new kid coming in and then work him through the fucking off season. Get him stronger, faster, and compete with these other motherfuckers. Go get your championships. And he says Trey Wisner says the Warrior says was sad to see him transfer. And then Matt F says, but yeah, it's all about let them get their money. And it's just for teams to really showcase. It's really going to showcase whether these coaches can coach or not. And it's simple as that. You get a new Warrior in there, build this motherfucker up, get him stronger, get his mind right, teaching the game. And it's showing the flaws in the coaching system in the game. These motherfucking weak ass people they hiring as coaches can't coach. And then Matt F says why would it hurt? Says when coaches do it all the time. Absolutely. You get coaches that just bounce on the program. And you see Lane Kiffin, a notorious motherfucker for that. He'll recruit all kind of kids, make promises to their parents to let them come here, and then that nigga be behind the scenes willing and dealing. Sorry, motherfuckers, I got to go. They need to be ruled. That's what Trump and them should have met with about coaches who do that shit. And then our coaches who are retiring and abandoning kids and shit because he no longer winning like he used to. Nick Saban. And then Matthew saying, "Yep, 100." Picasso says somebody saw me in the gas station. Says it kept staring and asked me if I knew him. Says he had the lady at the register, says, looking funny at me. He said I had a face, says, that looked like someone he knew. And then where the fuck do Picasso get these fucking crazy ass comments from? He says, I get this all the time. Man, I think Picasso got like permanent concussion syndrome, bro. This nigga crazy, man. I don't know what the fuck Picasso be writing about. And then and WMS says no one outruns the Kenyans. Absolutely talking about that marathon shit. Yeah, that black food cheated, man. That black food cheated. And then Hyphy says, can no black American says sock up any can't sock up any Kenyan, says in running, says cheater. And they saying facts. Yeah, that black nigga cheated his ass. He jumped out the stands. He caught a Uber with a mile away from that shit and just went 1 mile. That nigga's fresh in the motherfucker. Says dude jumped out the cab, says and into the race, man. He did. They said it's that Tupac. Yeah, that did Tupac that won the race and shit. The jumped through a time porter and ended up back in LA and shit. And then Sylvester says running for 2 hours, says and looking fresh, says nuts. Yeah, that nigga straight did a whole full fucking 100-meter yard dash. They said Machiavelli says I knew the horrible Tupac says wasn't dead. Sorry, not the horrible. He says I knew the homie Tupac wasn't dead. Yeah, they get the LA marathon and shit. Motherfucking Pac that won the marathon. Picasso in there rolling says do y'all know how white people are good with animals and black people are good with nature? Says we protect the environment, says, and they want to destroy it. Says they like researching, says, and living with wild animals. But it ain't to say they good with animals. That's what TV presents to us. And that is such a false thing. To present them, we see them as on TV growing up, that they're always with the lions and the gorillas and the tigers. But when you see it in real life, when whites go over to Africa, there's black guides who the animals associate more with. They don't know these motherfuckers. That's why the animals will attack their ass. That's why white folks got to have guns over there, because the animals don't know them. The animals be knowing these niggas is something, because, you know, animals got senses and shit. They be like, these niggas is a threat, and I will attack that motherfucker. God, chew his fucking head off. And then they see these niggas with a gun and shit. Said, hold on. Roar, that's a gun. Don't go after that nigga yet. Wait till he turn his back. We get that nigga when he sleep. So that's what that shit is. Black African niggas ain't got to do none of that shit. The animal, oh yeah, we know him. That's Jamafu. Yeah, that nigga cool and shit. His family been here a million years. Yeah, Mujafu is good. He good. This is land, really. The other motherfuckers, Mark Summers looking motherfucker, yeah, we gonna chew that nigga head off or kick him with a hoof. Yeah, get this nigga up out of here. Get this nigga off this continent. Nigga destroying it. Yeah, even the hyenas, who the dog animals can't even use their nose. These niggas, the dog would die for sniffing some shit. You niggas bring all that poison over there and shit. But that's a like misinformation or miseducation in the way that they present that white folks do all this shit with animals. We look on TV, they training the dogs, they taming the bears and this and that shit when it ain't the truth. Black folks are very good, like black dog people are greater at handling of dogs. Their knowledge of the dog is greater. Knowledge of the wild animals, even when you go into with tigers, that's an animal on Indian and Asian continents. You think Europeans gonna know more about these animals than those people? Absolutely not. They just come to where we hear them naming these motherfuckers, so they create all these English names for them and shit. They don't know more about these animals than these people from these continents. That just shows the delusional behavior and sick-minded nature of what comes up out of Europe and shit. It's the fact that they think they're the ones that determine all this shit, and then they present this shit on TV to you and make you think that they're the ones that are so great with the animals. Like, yeah, fucking right. You can go in the ocean and discover them motherfuckers. And the WMS says a 3.7 GPA, crazy. Talking about my nephew shit. Picasso says the same radiation cloud says from those bombs around the planet says will affect all of us sooner than later. Nah, I know you ain't talking about from back in the 50s. And then Lycine Cletus in the building says, fun fact, says America provided European peasants free land and subsidies, says, to build their own communities. Says, meanwhile, blacks had to figure it out on their own, only to have them towns ransacked. And that's from Mark Summers, who don't know a fucking thing, because guess what? He descends from some other land because he's a new arrival. WMS says it was $4.45 at the Shell gas station on Green Valley, or the Shell Green Valley groceries at Fort Apache and Twain. And then Matthew says Wemby for MVP, says go Spurs, go. Yeah, absolutely. He definitely got the MVP on lock. And then Matthew says he says Roy was before and during Vince Young, was before and during Vince, says, but Vince was an underclassman to Roy. And then Deucine says F Wemby, says, and the Spurs. He jealous of him beating them the other day, coming back from 25-point deficit, kicking their ass. And then Matthew Laurie in the building says the worst are the Florida schools. Says the Santos says is heavily involved in 10 colleges in Florida. Says and has all his cronies. All major institutions. Says salute. Yeah, fuck the Santos. He a bitch. Santos a nigga talking about taking away the woke shit, anything related to black and this and that. And the Santos an immigrant. But once it goes into how people vote in that motherfucking state. The fact that black folks down there are so fucking lost, caught up in other shit, don't believe in their fucking power to vote, and therefore they don't turn out to vote. They just allow every decision to be made off between the split amongst white folks. A lot of times, anytime blacks disengage from politics, you allow for determining how whites who are split down the middle in the way they go with their politics to affect you. And good thing there's a divide amongst white folks. Otherwise, this shit can be really pushing you back towards slavery and shit. Good thing there's a divide amongst white folks. That's why I don't talk about all white folks. I don't put them all in a group. And then Matthew says we got Aggies in our family too. Says laugh out loud. Says it's all good though. And then Picasso says at the end of the day, the bear ate the dude. Says and they said it was because brown bears were the aggressors. Says we're the aggressor of all, or you meant a more aggressive of all bears, not the aggressor. Says we're the most aggressive of all bears. Says nah, white people, bears hunt. Says and eat proximity, dumbass. Well, no, a bear just killing it because the bear don't even look at a human as food. The bear probably saw that white motherfucker as a threat. And the other fact is that animals, because these fools be thinking that the animals are one with them. These fools are so detached from humans. That'd be the other thing, the crazy side of people who are really into animals, an overboard affection and love towards an animal. The animal is their fucking emotional support animal and all this other shit because they have a detachment from human beings human beings have displayed how big of a piece of shit they can be to where a lot of people just don't want nothing to do with people. And it's one thing, like I say, I ain't that type of person, but I understand that shit. I understand why people are a certain way and shit. And it's just that some people will go into an animal. Animals don't pass judgment unless it's an animal that will eat your motherfucking ass. And so therefore these fools grow like that one dude you talking about, the white dude who was living amongst them damn bears out there in Alaska and shit. And there was some bears that allow them. You feed them, they feel you as no threat. That's always the thing. They feel you as no threat. Now, when you get with male animals, you can raise up a male animal. When that nigga getting on that shit where his nuts done grew and that nigga looking to fuck something, he don't give a fuck if you his father. He feel like he got to kill your ass. That nigga got to kill your motherfucking ass because they be suckers. He want all the pussy. They kill your motherfucking fucking ass. That's why the lions get rid of them boys. They kick them boys the fuck up out the pride like this nigga gotta go. And because that nigga kill his damn daddy over a bitch. And then he be related to all the other motherfuckers, so he really gotta go. But then motherfucker, that stupid ass dude fucking got too comfortable. And I guarantee a male bear killed his ass. And it just be viewing you as a threat or viewing you as competition. It's a thing of survival. You ain't fucking, and then the other thing, because of wild animal. Now, if you raise that motherfucker, hand fed him, that's a different story with a male animal. But you still got to be cautious. When that male animal want to be fucked with, you got to leave them alone. The female ones don't care because of the nature of a female animal is different. But a male animal that ain't been neutered and shit, man, shit. Because it's funny, even with the lions, they show like male lions who they fucking neuter. And them niggas can't grow a mane and shit. So that shit, that's why I never been in with doing that shit to animals and shit. First time I seen that, if you cut a male lion nuts off, he can't grow his mane and shit. And so fucking, I won't do that shit because I know it alters something about the manhood of that fucking animal. But like I say, that male animal gonna go different. Hormones gonna fucking impact his brain, his way of thinking. And that their way of thinking is the mutilate shit. And so that's why that white dude getting too comfortable. They're my friends. They love me. Because he spent all them damn winters up there. That one male animal came across, seen he was too close to a female animal and mauled his ass, but it did not eat him. Because he ain't viewed as food. Them animals will never eat a human. You ain't food to them. They'll just kill your fucking ass. And then Picasso says, not you, Reg. He in a rolling. And then Picasso says, I'll talk about every race of people, says with some facts to it. So sometimes says joke, says, but y'all need to do better. And then WMS 702 says that Grizzly Man moron says was told repeatedly, says not to interact with with those bears by the government. Says I watched the movie, says he was weird. Yeah, he was weird as fuck. He was definitely weird as fuck. And them bears got tired of his ass. They said, oh, what Governor, I got a green light on this nigga. Well, y'all, how about y'all send the RIP message I'm gonna send to his family? I'm gonna go rah right on that nigga camera before I slap this nigga with these big ass paws and claws. Nigga, ain't no way I'm fucking with no bear, especially a big brown bear, nigga. Oh hell no, nah. Them motherfucking claws are so big and shit. This motherfucking hand probably about 50 pounds and shit. That's a fucked up way to die, and that shit gonna hurt. That shit gonna hurt like a motherfucker. A grizzly bear fucking going to kill you. Oh my god. And then I bet that nigga stand up over you. Like, nigga, I wouldn't even feel that nigga. He wanted to kill me. Because as soon as that nigga went, rah, nigga, my heart has stopped. Like, like, bitch, you wasting your time trying to bite on me. Nigga, I'm dead, homie. Shit, nigga, go ahead. Waste your time on them clawing me up and all that shit. Nigga, I've been dead, fool. As soon as you raise your big 1,000-pound, 8-foot tall ass up, nigga, I'm out. That shit gotta be scary, nigga. I wanted, because the camera, I bet they did. They just probably deleted that shit. The camera probably caught that nigga screaming and shit. He probably shitted on himself, pissed on himself. Man, that bear tore through all of that shit. Like, ain't no fucking way. And they went out there every year to go fuck with big ass bears like a dummy. Wait, then he took a weird bitch with him too, I think. Then he had a little weird ass chick went out there with him and shit. Her pussy probably stunk. And then bitch was nasty. Picasso says, can you feel bad for these women who get attacked by their own dogs? No, one thing I see with them, like with white women and the ones who get their face bit off by a dog, because they always putting their face in the dog face. They always putting their face in the dog face. And they got to understand, because it's dogs who, their dogs got personality like a motherfucker. There's dogs who don't like males. There's dogs who don't like females. There's dogs that don't like kids. There's dogs that don't like adults. And there's dogs that don't like to be touched certain places. There's dogs who don't like people too close to them in their face. And these stupid motherfuckers see your dog and, ooh, they want to be all in their face and shit. That's like when I used to have a dog, I couldn't stand this shit with like white ladies and shit. And that's when I said my kids used to be little. I'd be walking my kids and then they want to acknowledge the dog. So I see somebody do that shit. Like, I walk by like, fuck you, bitch. I wouldn't even pay attention to you, ho. Like, you see these two little kids right here, you little funky, degenerate, retarded motherfuckers. And they don't even acknowledge their own kids. Why their kids be all fucked up in the head. Ain't that the way it was for you, Mark Summers? What's up, Brandon? Salute to my brother, Brandon. Mark Summers is like that, too. His motherfucking brother was a motherfucking Cocker Spaniel and shit. And his mama treat the Cocker Spaniel better than him and shit. No, y'all be owning golden retrievers and shit. And then in the Picasso in there rolling, like she'd comb the golden retriever hair and leave Mark Summers shit all nasty. Rain done splashed all through his head, and he ain't even get shampoo on his shit. And then Picasso says the Russian be wrestling with bears, says, but it's probably under some medication. Nah, it's under the bear fucking being raised by them and knowing the limits of not hurting their ass. But they couldn't wrestle no bear. But it's funny because those bears actually can do all that like jujitsu and grappling and hold shit. that maybe they could good train out them bears. But if that bear was to like go bear on any of them dudes, Khabib, all of them, that bear will kill them niggas in 2 seconds and shit. That bear, no, have y'all seen that shit? Hold on, I gotta show this shit. I gotta show this nigga. He jumped in a motherfucking he jumped in a pit with a bear at the zoo. Wait, hold on. Hold on, man. Russell's bear. Wait, hold on. Bear at the zoo. Hold on. Let me show this shit. Bear at zoo. This nigga jumped in the thing with the bear. He jumped in the water. Well, here it go. Hold on, this stupid nigga right here. Hold on. Let me show this shit. The bear jump in the water. That nigga jump on the bear back. Wait, is this it? Yeah, wait. I think this is it. Wait, is this the one? Yeah, he fighting the bear up. But it's a nigga that did a voiceover on that shit. Hold on, let me find this verse over one. I found a video. Hold on. Oh, here it go. This was Long Beach. Damn, what's this fool? Long Beach song. This shit is funny as fuck. Hold on, let me show this shit. This crazy nigga jumped in the water with the bear. Hold on, let me back this shit up. Look at this nigga. This voiceover shit make this shit extra funny as shit.
I don't know, this nigga was zookeeper or a nigga just in here. He didn't see the bear. He said, oh shit, survival mode, right? This nigga jumped into the water, try to swim under the water so the bear won't see Kev. The bear like, nah, nigga, I ain't stupid. Nigga, I see your ass, goofy. I see you, nigga. You ain't getting away from me. I'm on you. Look, Kev thought he was gonna come look bear. Kev, nigga, I'm on your ass. I'm about to jump in here with this nigga. Hold on, Kev. This nigga think he getting away. Watch the nigga go in survival mode. I'm on his back. nigga, I'm Uncle Willie's son.
I'm Uncle Willie's son.
This nigga is fighting
it's crazy.
the bear. I'm Uncle Willie's son. Uncle Willie's son. Survival instincts. Go for what you know, nigga. Uncle Willie's son. Get on,
he swung on that motherfucker.
Get on, kid. Yeah, look, the bear. Uncle Willie's son. Uncle Willie's son. Survival instincts. Go for what you know, nigga. Uncle Willie's son. Get on, killer. Get on, killer. Yeah. Look, the bear. Oh, this nigga, God. I don't know, this nigga is zookeeper.
That nigga is stupid, homie. Oh my God. That fool's stupid as fuck for that shit. It be a lot of them dummies do that shit at the zoos and shit. That's why they gotta watch who they selling tickets to, man. It be some crazy motherfuckers doing that shit. That nigga is stupid and to survive that shit. Cause that was an inexperienced bear. That was a human raised bear. And then SF in there saying, salute to my brother SF. Picasso says bears be having some they be having them tapeworms, says, looking like 20 feet long. Y'all be seeing them Alaskan bears shitting them worms out. That shit is nasty, says, hanging out their asses. That's because of them fish they be eating and shit. And then nobody in there laughing at that shit. Yeah, they said, I'm Uncle Willie's son. Said Beowulf Spirit said took over this ninja. Man, that shit, the first time I seen that shit, it's that nigga Long Beach. I forget that nigga channel name. Maybe doing a voiceover, man. That motherfucker had me dying when that shit came out. That shit is funny as fuck. But folks, that's all I got on this one, man. I'm out of this joint, man. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. No, I'm going live. I'm gonna probably go live depending on how high these gas prices jump and or how this war flips on Donald Trump and them and shit. Oh, I'm definitely gonna be going live tomorrow, but I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace. Or maybe I don't know, something else pop off. I'll jump on here, some new breaking news shit jump off and shit. But I'll catch y'all. Peace.